This is DJ Roy, and this is Behind the Mic, and you're tuned into Irie Jam 360. Well, started playing sound. And the song, by the way, is next year we'll be celebrating the 35th anniversary. So we started off with sound system, keeping basement parties and college parties on campus, off campus, and started to do shows. And we do a lot of reggae shows. And what we really started to get into radio is that we used to send our commercials into the various radio stations to be played, or for them to air and them to voice. But we were doing all reggae shows, and they would have somebody with a strong accent that wasn't Jamaican voicing our commercials. So they kept saying, well, if you don't like the commercial, then why don't you voice the commercial yourself? So we started to voice our own commercials, and they kept saying, well, why don't you do radio? Why don't you do radio? But sometimes they were kind of shy and just really wanted to be behind the scenes, keep with parties and keep with shows. Nobody had to know who we were, because that's what, that was our goal at the time. Started to dabble with the local radio, doing commercials. And then we met up with Ken Williams, who had a program on the 93.5. It was WRTN at the time. And he did a thing called Friday Night Dance Party. And he said that, he would sublease us sometime so we could do radio. And we started to get into radio that way. Even then, I wasn't the voice on the program. I was just a person playing the music, because I didn't really want to. I hated my voice. I still do. I didn't really want it to have my voice on the air, so I played music and I focused on that. Then from there, we had from Mega Everest College radio station that we used to do another Friday evening program on. And even then, still, I was a person that was just really playing the music, wasn't the voice. Other memorable moments would be, I remember years ago when we had somewhat riots in Crown Heights. A black person, I think, ran over a Jewish kid, which caused riots in Crown Heights. Black people were afraid to walk in Crown Heights, and Jewish people also were afraid. And they kept a peace party with the community, the Jewish and people of color. And they chose Road International to be the sound to play at that. And I remember that when we got to Crown Heights and we're taking our speakers out to see, the Jewish, and I call them Jewish dreadlocks, them because they had the things on, tassels coming down, to see them lifting up our double 18 speakers and carrying our amplifiers into the auditorium for the peace party they were having. That's something I'll never forget. Barack Obama, Fantasy. Bob Marley, Fantasy. Dennis Brown, Fantasy. What's amazing, and I say Fantasy because I have done interviews with them, taken their voices from different interviews and put my voice to it. And even aired them on air and saying, if I had a chance to speak to the president, this is what I would ask him. I've done it with Dennis Brown, that people even, I remember playing the Dennis Brown one year, and people calling and saying, can I speak to Dennis? And back in our college days, we also did that with Bob Marley. And it was harder then, because back then it was with tapes, so we had to cut and splice. You might be too young to realize what I'm talking about, cutting and splicing, but it's not like now when we've got, the computers where we had to cut tape, put it together, put in the questions, cut the Bob Marley part and put together. It took us like almost 3 weeks to put an interview with Bob that probably played for about 15 minutes. My kids always come first, and family. Everything else, like, people say, like, if there's a fire in your house, what would you grab? Well, I mean, kids, wife. Um, After that, you know, I try not to to have possessions that I think I can't live without. And the reason being because I come from simple surroundings, simple growing up, fortunate. And, you know, I have a thing I live by, like if you have something in your house that you haven't used and you haven't touched for 6 months, you don't really need it. Because if you haven't used it for 6 months, then it's just something that you have because you want. My music is always, my vinyl records has always been my prized possessions for me, but because of technology now, and most of them are in storage, and everything's on MP3 now. I don't treasure them the way I used to before. Uh, if there was a fire, I'd be grabbing my records first. But as you grow older, you get a little more, you know, not attached to possessions. So family is my prized possession, and friends. Been in the studio and see how I work. I work the same way I work off camera, on camera. Camera doesn't make me do what I do. I'm very animated. I enjoy what I do. So I'm hoping now that people can see that I really enjoy what I do. I'm hoping to also get into new homes. I mean, and this is something you can take with you. You know, before you had to sit around a computer to watch things. Now people are getting all this on their smartphone, and it's instant, which is great. So I'm just hoping to, and I don't have fans. We call them extended family. I hope the family grows. I'm hoping also that we can use this platform for the businesses that are struggling in our community. Another way for them to get the word out there. You know, you drive down Merrick Boulevard or White Plains Road or, you know, Utica Avenue in Brooklyn, and you see so many signs going out of business, or you see the shutters pulled down. And I'm hoping this could be another platform to help these shutters stay up, and an affordable one too, because that's what it's also about, making sure that you have something that is first class, top shelf at affordable prices. And that's what I'm hoping that this app and this new iRegion 360 is going to do.